back to Take It Slow Homestead. I'm Carol, and this morning when I woke up I thought, I need bread. So today I'm going to be making bread. I'm not going to be doing anything outside, and I'll show you why. This is what it looks like outside today in my front yard. Yeah. Lots of beautiful snow, which means that our field, my son's field, got a big drink, which it really needs. So we're really thankful for this. But I'm not going to play outside today. Also, I have my paint clothes on today. They're really cute. Can't get back far enough, but yeah. Just in case I have time to paint, because I need to do some touch-up work, and so hopefully I will be also painting. And before I do anything, make bread or paint or anything, where is it? Right there. I'm going to eat my breakfast. So I'll be back shortly after I eat, and we will get making that bread because I need bread. Here's my bread recipe that I use. It's 100% whole wheat bread, and my good friend Marcia gave me this recipe, and I've used it a lot. If you want to write down the recipe, here it is. You can just stop the video and copy that down. And then on the other side, a little bit more. There's the rest of it. So I'm going to hang this up on my cute little whatever holder that my daughter gave me. There we go. All ready to go. So the first thing I need to do is to sprinkle the yeast in the warm water. The first thing I do is test the water on my wrist to see if it's lukewarm. If I can't tell if it's warm or cool, then that means it's lukewarm. So 1/2 cup. All right. There's the 1/2 cup of lukewarm water and 2 tablespoons of yeast. Now we're going to put 5 cups of hot tap water in this bowl. And my tap water is really hot. So there's the 5 cups of hot tap water. And then 7 cups of whole wheat flour. That was actually 6 cups, which means I need to grind some more flour. But for now, we're going to mix this in. And it would be a good idea if I brought up the bowl where it's supposed to be. There we go. So that is mixing the hot water and the whole wheat flour. Now I'm going to add the salt, the oil, and the honey. Something else that I like to add sometimes is chia seeds and also ground flaxseed. So here's some chia seeds, and I just add 1 tablespoon. And here's the flaxseed, and 1 tablespoon of that. And I keep these in my refrigerator. They last a long time. Now it's time to add the water and yeast mixture. Okay, if you could see that, you would have noticed that the water and yeast mixture was foamy. And that's good. It was nice and foamy. Okay. Raise that back up. I'm going to mix in the yeast and water. And now I'm going to gradually add in the rest of the flour. So at first, I didn't quite have the 7 cups. I had more like 6 cups of flour when it called for 7. So I have that extra cup now because I've just ground all this flour. And then I have 5 to 6 cups more for this second addition. Now I'm going to switch beaters. I'm going to take this one off. This is more like a blender beater. Since my hands are clean, this is what I do to get the dough off of the beater. And I can feel how the wheat in hot water to begin with gets really elasticy when you beat those together, hot water and wheat. You can feel how the gluten, I guess it is, starts to form and it becomes elasticy. I have some cousins, and when we were young we used to play together occasionally, and they would always chew on wheat. And they would chew it until it turned into gum, and that was their gum. And so when I played with them, I learned how to turn wheat into gum. Okay, here's the dough hook. Just put that up on there. Lift it back up, turn it on low, and add more flour. After you incorporate all of the flour into your dough and knead it either by hand or in your machine for about 10 minutes or so, then put it onto a countertop or a flat surface, whatever you use to make your bread, and use oil when you're forming your loaves. So cut it into 4 sections because this recipe makes 4 loaves. What I actually like to do is weigh my pieces of dough. I can tell that one's smaller just by the way it feels. That one weighs a little more. Looks like these two are the biggest, so, and the reason why I like to do that, to weigh them, is because then I know that all of the loaves, each one, is pretty close to the same size as all the others. So every loaf of bread will be the same. I'm going to get my scale right here and we'll weigh these. Seems like they usually come out to about 1 pound 13 ounces or something like that. This says 114 something. 113 and a fourth. Let's see what this small one here is. 1/8, yeah, so we're just going to add that to it. I'm going to add some of that one because I think it's bigger. And it depends on, you know, if your measurements are exact when you're putting your ingredients together. It can vary a lot depending on how you do that. So this is 1 pound 10 ounces. And like I said, this one is 113. I'm going to take a little bit of that. Put it there. 111. 114. Yeah, I shouldn't have done that. 113. I'm going to take it down to like 112. That's 112 and 3/4. 112 and 3/4. 111. 112 and 1/4. 110. 111. Pretty close. Pretty close. See if I can get that up to 112. Yeah, that's 112 even. 112 and 1/8. 112 and 1/4. 112 and 3/8. Okay, close enough. So now I know that my loaves are going to be really close to the same size. I think it's fun to pop the bubbles that are left in the dough. So now I roll them, and this is mainly to get the bubbles out. I don't want great big bubbles in my piece of bread. Okay, so I rolled it on one side and then I flipped it over and rolled it on the other side. Then I start at one end, roll it up, making sure that it's sticking to itself pretty well, because if it doesn't, then you're going to also end up with air holes in your bread. Then I pinch the seam, roll it over on top of the seam, press down the ends just a little bit, and then I put it in my loaf pan, which is over here. Okay, I'll do one more. I knead it, which just makes it more uniform, like a ball. Roll it on one side, turn it over, roll it on the other. When you get close to the edges, you can hear the bubbles popping. And then I lift it up to just kind of relax it a little bit. Start at one end, roll it up, pinch the seam, roll it onto the seam, press down the ends and tuck them under. There's a pan. And put it into the pan. Now with these, I'm going to take some oil. Vegetable oil is what I'm using today. Pat it on the top. Because I like a soft crust. Okay, so I'll do that with the other two. All the loaves are now in their pans, and I just wanted to show you the different pans that I have. This one over here is stoneware, and I got it from Pampered Chef. It works really well. The bread never sticks to it, never. I do still put some shortening in there. I grease the pan a little bit, but other pans I've had in the past that I have greased really well, they just would not release the loaf very cleanly. And so over the years I've ended up with these 4 pans that I really love. These 2 in the middle are called Norpro, N-O-R-P-R-O, and I just found them in a store in town, and I am telling you, they are wonderful pans. The bread never sticks at all. This one on the very end is a Tupperware pan. So it is this really hard plastic stuff that you can bake in the oven, and it doesn't melt, of course. So yeah, this is my 4th favorite pan. So I have 4 favorite bread pans. They work really well. So there they are. They were rolled out in the oil, like I said. That's what the directions say. Use oil when forming the loaves. And I made sure there was oil on top because I like a soft top. So, what I've done is I have put a towel underneath just to give them a little added warmth instead of being on the countertop, which can get cold at times. And now I'm just going to cover them up. I have them spaced apart so that when they rise, they're not going to hit each other. And they're supposed to rise until the sides of the loaf reach the top of the pan. So the side of the loaf will be at the top of the pan, and then it will have a slight dome in the middle. So that's how it looks when it's ready to go in the oven. So we'll just let those rise until they are ready. In the meantime, I'm going to grind some more wheat. So I'll have it for the next time. See, I really am planning on painting. But not yet. First I need to do this. Wheat is a really good thing to store. It will last 30 years if stored correctly, and this is just proof that it will. Our loaves have risen. So as you can see, the sides have come up to the top of the pans, and then there's a dome on each of them. Less dome on this one. It's a wider pan, and that's why the bread comes out shorter, but it comes out wider also. The oven is set to 350, so it's all ready to go. When you put them in the oven, they are supposed to be to the level where the top of the loaf will be in about the middle of the oven. So about right there is the middle of the oven. That's where the top of the loaf should be. So I took one of my racks out so that I could have the right amount of space over the top. And I'm gonna put all those in the oven. So I decided to put them in this way. They just fit better. Sometimes I have put them in the other way, but I don't know, today they just fit better that way. Okay, 40 minutes. So there's the bread, all done. And I went ahead and I cut off the end of this one, put a little butter on it, and now I'm going to take a bite. Nothing like bread right out of the oven. So yeah, I'm still chewing it. Thanks for hanging out with me today. There's the bread background. It's always a good job to have done when you're making your bread. When you knead bread, then you need to knead bread. So thanks for joining me. I hope you maybe learned something new or got inspired to where you want to make some bread too. Now I need to go out in the snow, feed my chickens, do my chores out there, and then I will come in and you thought I was going to say I was going to paint, huh? I think I'm going to rest. But just remember, first of all, if you like what you saw, hit the like button. I appreciate you watching. And always remember that even when you take it slow like me, you can accomplish a lot. Have a great rest of your day.